supposed to be, if you will, agnostic about who the nominee is going to be. And they seem to have their thumb on the scale for you. They seem to be working against Bernie Sanders, their fellow Democrat.
Again, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about these emails.
Nothing.
I haven't followed it. But I'm very proud of the campaign that I ran. And I'm very proud of the campaign that Senator Sanders ran.
In your view, any effort in the DNC to favor one candidate or another would have been improper?
Again, I don't have any information about this, and so I can't answer specifically. We ran our campaign. We ran hard. We worked to have as many successes as possible. I'm very proud that we got more votes than anybody else running, including Donald Trump. And I am very grateful for the campaign that Senator Sanders ran, because we ran a campaign based on issues, not insults. So I can't speak to what people who were not working for me, who were saying whatever they were saying. I can't speak to that. I can only speak to my campaign.
Okay. I am flabbergasted. I've seen the numbers a bunch of times. I need the latest. As of, look it up, guys, as of the last primary, I think Trump got like 3.8 million votes. I'm going from memory, more than any other Republican in history. And then I remember seeing, even like in New York Times, LA Times breakdowns, that Hillary got less Democratic votes in the last election. She just said she had more general population votes than I'm just flabbergasted by these lies. I mean, flabbergasted at how, because the media won't challenge her. And now she knows nothing about the superdelegates that they've spent decades putting into place in the DNC party elections that she honchos, commands, runs. And that her minion, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has worked for her for decades, now leaving the DNC to go back to work for her again. What a joke. She knows nothing about it. She knows nothing about stealing all the states or being at the meeting in California to decide they wouldn't give it to Bernie. I mean, wow, wow. What another galactic-sized super whopper. How Hillary loses. Donald Trump can actually win if Clinton makes these 4 mistakes. Spoiler alert, she's already making all of them. That was from back in May. Yeah, and we're going to look up the numbers. She got less votes than Trump. It doesn't matter. In her mind, she got more. And she was in major combat. You all know she's like Brian Williams. Brian Williams was actually flying a Star Destroyer in deep space, and Battlestar Galactica fighting space aliens. He said so, so it must be true. These people, it's just like a joke. They will destroy themselves if they're lying. Let's go to this other one. Let's go ahead and play the Hillary standard for corruption from 60 Minutes. Here it is.
I was speaking to a young African-American man just the other day in a Democratic state, and he said, and I'll quote, "You know, I guess I would vote for Hillary except for that corruption problem," end quote. As I talked to him further, he didn't quite know what he meant by that, but that was his impression and concern. Why do you think people say that about you?
Well, first, I will take responsibility for any impression or anything I've ever done that people have legitimate questions about. But I think that it's fair to say there's been a concerted effort to convince people like that young man of something. Nobody's quite sure what, but of something. I often feel like there's the Hillary standard, and then there's the standard for everybody else.
What's the Hillary standard?
Well, it is, a lot of, as you saw at the Republican convention, unfounded, inaccurate, mean-spirited attacks with no basis in truth, reality, which take on a life of their own. And for whatever reasons, and I don't want to try to analyze the reasons. I see it. I understand it. People are very willing to say things about me, to make accusations about me that are I don't get upset about them anymore, but they are very regrettable.
Why do you put
all lies? She gets totally upset about it and mentally throws fits. She said there's a Hillary standard and another standard. Total inverted reality. Yes, everybody else will go to jail. You're above the law. That's right. General Flynn said, yes, she should go to prison. If I did 1/10 of what she did, I would be in jail. She is a Bradley Manning. In fact, she's a girl. Put her in the same jail cell as Bradley Manning. But Bradley Manning was exposing criminal activity. Probably released too much stuff. A lot of that stuff was not criminal activity. Was not. That was the biggest problem. Was a bunch of it didn't endanger people. But people should. If you're going to put something out, you should go through it. The argument with WikiLeaks is just put everything out. I don't know if you want to put the names of informants and stuff in Iraq so they get killed and stuff like that. I mean, I get why they threw him in prison. The thing is, he still meant well. And Snowden was very careful about what he did. I think the guy's a hero because the program and all that's illegal. All right, let's just stop right there. I want to go back to your phone calls. But I know the crew was really upset about this clip. Did any of you guys, I'm putting you on the spot here, from Matt to Allie to whoever. I mean, do you want to comment before I go to calls about this Hillary standard? Because she's, in a weird way, she's telling the truth. Yeah, there's a Hillary standard, but not that you get in trouble when nobody else does. Everybody else gets in trouble, but you don't.
Well, yeah, I thought it was just outrageous when he basically called her on the fact that she's being associated with corruption, and you could see just all the lies and criminal activities are going through her head, and she's trying to cover up for it and come up with another lie and how to cover it up. You could just see that in her head. So I thought it was a great clip. Now, Daria, I don't know if I get into what you did before you worked here, but you've been to the Defense Language School. You were in Fort Bragg, and I mean, you haven't told me the details, but obviously Black Ops and things. And I mean, if you ever did 1/10 of what Hillary did, is General Flynn accurate in saying you'd be in prison? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. For far less than that. Far less.
So where do you think this is going?
It's hard to tell. I mean, I don't know. She's just going to get away with the stuff that she's getting away with because they just have it controlled. So I don't know. I just hope Trump actually gets into the presidency and finally does something about it.
Well, there's got to be some limit to it. Thank you for making those points. It's simply amazing. Let's just play it one more time, then I'm going to your calls, because I want everybody each hour to be able to hear this or see this. But if you're not a TV viewer, go to Infowars.com/show, and you can actually see this. You got Schultz getting up, trying to start organizing today. This was today, getting the delegates to go, okay, I know you're all here for Sanders, but get ready. We're going to steal it. And they start booing her. So they want to have this rubber stamp claiming we met with everybody and they said aye. Well, guess what? They didn't say aye. They said boo. And then they bring up, well, okay, they're mad at me. Bring up another woman. I'm the woman. Be quiet. All of you stand down. Well, most of those Democrats are women, something like 59%. They didn't go along with you either. They're all mad. Oh, the gimmick of it being a woman's wearing off, isn't it? So let's go ahead and play Debbie Wasserman Schultz booed and heckled at Florida delegation breakfast at DNC. Here it is.
Good morning, Florida.
Good morning, Florida.
It is so wonderful to be able to be here in my home, with my home state. All right, everybody, now settle down. Everybody, settle down, please.
Okay. All right, we have a big program. We have a big program today. Let's hear. Let's be respectful. Please be quiet so Debbie can speak. It's okay. Everybody, let's hear from our speakers. We have other speakers as well.
And it goes on and on. On and on and on. How long can they push this? We're going to go to break and come back with Chad in Kentucky. Then we're going to talk to other folks like Mark in Oregon, Terry in Georgia, George, and others. And then, of course, Leanne McAdoo with a whole fresh new hour, tons of news, breaking analysis. It's all coming up. Please mark your calendars. It's only 2 days away. In fact, what's the countdown time-wise at Infowars.com/giant? It's only 2 days. Less than 2 days till Wednesday, 11 a.m. We kick off a 28, wow, hour live transmission with reporters all over the world. We're 1 day, 5 hours, 9 minutes, 14 seconds from Operation Sleeping Giant. The American people stand up. Think of what we do each year, how we metrically are intensifying our operations. We're exponentially growing. You know, this is a pretty important headline, but I think we ought to change it. InfoWars dominates DNC coverage by illustrating Dem divide. Report shows party more split than Republican. How about InfoWars finds 80% of people on the ground don't support, or 80% of Democrats don't support Hillary in ground poll. Party completely split, imploding. Something like that. I mean, they're in trouble. Briefly, I'm not going to belabor this. We sell amazing products at some of the lowest prices out there, whether it's an indoor air purifier or water purifying system you need, or non-GMO heirloom seeds, or nutraceuticals. It's all available at InfoWarsStore.com. And we have 10% off this week on the nutraceuticals, part of the operation we've launched, Operation Sleeping Giant, to help raise capital. Please take action and take advantage of 10% off on all the nutraceuticals at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com has a lot of other great sales as well. Whether it's the best ultrasound toothbrush you can find out there with ultraviolet light to kill germs, that is literally less than a third of the cost of many of the models out there that aren't even as good, or whether it is a book on the dangers of GMO, thousands and thousands of items at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com to find the nutraceuticals. InfoWarsHealth.com is the full longevity line, discounted. When you purchase it there at InfoWarsHealth.com, part of the proceeds go to fund this operation as well. So also check out the great products at InfoWarsHealth.com or InfoWarsTeam.com. All right, let's go to Chad in the great state of Kentucky. Chad, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Thank you, Alex. Just got two quick questions, three if you got time. But what do you think of Russia banning evangelicalism? And two, with Hillary going down in the polls and everyone catching on to this Hillary for prison, I don't think the puppet masters can really ram her down our throat like they want to. I think we need to start worrying about an Obama third term here.
All right. I know Russia's banned hundreds of groups that are basically George Soros backed. I know there are some evangelical groups who have been caught. I mean, that's the government's always used Christian groups or religious groups, missionaries as covers, journalists as covers. So some journalists have been barred from Russia who they believe are actually globalist spies. I'm not defending some of the stuff going on in Russia, but when you're being attacked, that's the type of things governments do. But can you cite for me specifically where evangelical group is banned from Russia?
No, not specifically. Just a lot of Christian posts and stuff like that. I've seen.
Yeah, so there's a lot of rumors. It's Russia is becoming more Christian and defending Christians. It's only banning known CIA groups like Pussy Riot, and that's the name of it, and others that are admittedly going into churches and crapping all over the Virgin Mary and things like that.
Okay.
I mean, you understand these women are going to do this to be arrested and to cause a riot. You understand that, right? They send women in to urinate and defecate on things at churches. Our CIA on record funds them to do that. And then the Russians arrest them and they say, oh, and throw them out of the country. And they say, oh, look, we're censored. And then they put out lies that Russia is arresting Christians and stuff. It is horse manure.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify that up. But I do think we got to worry about an Obama third term, having a false flag and keeping him in office. I think you even had someone on the show prior to the elections kicking off that said that this was all going to be a big circus to be a distraction, and then Obama's going to remain in office.
Absolutely. I mean, I think anything goes now. Stuff's gotten so crazy where they just steal elections openly and tried to with Trump and get on Fox News and go, your vote doesn't count. They've just coup d'etat Roger Ailes. They've told Drudge they're coming after him. Get ready. All hell's breaking loose. But here's the deal. We're having major gains in the fight. It's not like we're in a fight and we're just laying here. But I hear you. I think there's a good chance. Listen, I smell a false flag. And I'm telling you, I think anything's in the cards, from a federal building being blown up and, it being, Trump supporters that do it, they'll claim, to a nuke being shut off. I mean, I think they could do anything. These criminals think they're invincible. They think they're going to get arrested if they don't stay in power. And so they're like a bank robber when the cops come that takes a woman with her kid hostage. Back off or I'll shoot the kid. Well, you can't give in to terrorism. So Hillary wants to shut off nukes or come after me or whatever she's got to do. Just, this is the way it is. It's like True Grit. We're riding in against them, and fill your hand because it's on. We'll be back in 70 seconds with more phone calls. Mark in Oregon. Terry, stay with us. I know this is real. I know the world government's real, not just from their documents or actions. I've had them try to buy me off. I've had them attack me. I've had them do terrible things to my family. But you know what? I have good cheer because God always took me through it. Wounded and scarred, but it only made me stronger. But I know now I'm just going to do the best I can, give it all to God, and God will take us the rest of the way. And that's all you can do is just commit And that's the end.